Hello, welcome to my channel, and today we'll be doing a special episode on testing different mythic items on Azir. And as always, do check out the whole video because there will be a lot to explore, and we'll be also debunking different myth and build paths. Anyways, we're gonna start by creating a scenario where we're in the early mid game, 2 items and boots, 30 magic resist. So the 30 MR is actually sort of like a late game MR for most AD carries and range champions. So this would be rather fitting on the whole test scenario. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Onward! The order is given! Soldiers, onward! The order is given! Onward!
So the results have shown that Ludens and Riftmaker are the two best options for the early mid game when you have like 2 items and boots. And Liandry's and Everfrost aren't really that good, and obviously Night Harvester is just a troll pick, or troll build rather. And we're now going to be exploring on a second scenario where we're in the late game and say the enemy AD carry has built a Wits End, so that's 19 magic resist, and we're in full build. So let's see how our items goes.
Onward!
plating will soon fall.
Soldiers, onward! Order is given! Soldiers, onward! Order is given!
So now the results show that Liandry's isn't really that good of an item on Azir, but why does the pros build it? Or am I doing anything wrong? So I've looked up on Wiki and found out that Liandry's has an extra passive that works on the enemy's bonus % health. So that means it's better at dealing with tanks because it burns more of their health. So now we're in the next scenario where we give bonus health on target dummies, and let's see how well does the Liandry work.
The order is given! Soldiers, onward! The order is given! Soldiers, onward!
So after the final test, we sort of have a conclusion right now that Liandry isn't really that good of an item on Azir. My explanation of why we're building it is because we're actually playing poke. Like, you might think that Luden's is a better poke item than Liandry's, but you sort of have the burn effect on the Liandry's, where you just Q and try to tick off the enemy's health. Like when you're just waiting for a fight to happen, or when your team doesn't have any front line. So this might be one of the scenarios, but if you play smart, I still think that Luden's would be a way better item in terms of looking at the results just now. So after the mythic items are being tested, we're gonna move on to runes. On the Azir Reddit forum, there are lots of debate about whether we should take Hail of Blades or Electrocute. Personally, I ain't a fan of Electrocute because I think the cooldown time is just too long and it doesn't give you attack speed. So the uses of Electrocute is extremely niche, and Azir isn't really a burst mage. You could play him as a burst mage, but he isn't optimal that way. And you could sort of not build Nashers when you take Hail of Blades, but you need to build Nashers when you go Electrocute. And the following test results will show that it really is better if you take Hail of Blades because the cooldown time is just so much better. For the people who says that 5 damage or 10 damage off of Azir's W nerf is a huge hit to Hail of Blades, well, considering that you also need to attack with Electrocute, you're still losing the 5 damage, right? So there isn't really much upside for taking Electrocute apart from the slightest bit of damage increase. So let's see how this goes.
Onward!
So now the results show that Hail of Blades is actually a way better rune than Electrocute. If you think of it, you actually have better skirmishes when you take Hail of Blades rather than Electrocute, because like say if you're gonna help at level 4 when you're fighting over a crab, or say just jungle invade, it's probably gonna last longer than 12 seconds, where the Hail of Blades has another round, while Electrocute is just like sitting there and still cooldowning. So if you're still a fan of Electrocute, do try and persuade me, because I really ain't a fan of it. And throughout my 1 million points of mastery, I've only taken Electrocute once, and it was a mistake because I forgot to change my runes when I was playing Zed the last game, and I felt I did 0 damage because it was so remarkably bad. So do convince me if you think my tests are rigged or biased or any sort of things, because I'm not convinced by Electrocute or any arguments that Electrocute is better. Some people tell me that you take Electrocute into LeBlanc or Akali because they have invisible or they could dash around. I mean, Akali's Shroud cooldown is actually longer than Hail of Blades, so you can actually proc Hail of Blades onto her again before her Shrouds come back on. Rather Electrocute, you're just gonna be like waiting and waiting. So I don't really get why people are taking Electrocute. Not worth it.